Hi, welcome, Christine. So, the question I have for everybody today is what is the real meaning of faith, right? Because I grew up Christian, Protestant to be exact, and I never really felt comfortable in the church. I've always felt like I had like a pretty strong connection to like a higher power. I've always believed in a God. I just didn't believe in the one in the Bible. And the older I got, the more that solidified. I do kind of believe in. I believe in reincarnation. I believe in now that God is more or less just fractions of everything that exists in reality as a whole, right? That there's a piece of it in all of us, and it had me thinking about just the word faith, and it blows my mind that so many religions are called faith, like they're faith, right? But if you really think about it, it's the opposite of faith because they're presenting you with a book that says, I want you to believe what we're telling you to believe. That's not faith. Faith is believing in something that you know deep in your heart, that you can't explain, that you cannot see. You just know. You believe it without a doubt and without any fear. So basically, it's faith is belief and trust in the unknown. That's the definition of true faith, right? But the religions that practice nowadays, none of them are actually based on faith. They're based on control. They're telling you what a group of men wrote down centuries ago, and they're saying this is what you should believe happened, and this is what you should believe is right and wrong. That's not faith at all. To have faith is to listen to that little voice in your head, that those emotions, right? Everything that we feel is a sign of who you are. It's what tells us right and wrong. I know that deep down everyone feels that. Like the reason we have guilt and shame, it's not to make you believe that you're a bad person or to make you feel unworthy. It's to cuz everyone is equal. No one is bad. They were just hurtful actions. And when we feel shame and guilt, it's so that we know that's not how we really want to be. Deep down, our spirit is telling us, you're feeling the shame because that's not really how you want to act. That's not really how you want to be experienced or experience someone in that moment, right? It's just that your feelings of hurt have kind of controlled you and caused you to react in a way that you don't have any self-control. And so I feel like we all have these emotions, like that is pretty much what our emotions are. They're a guide for us to learn ourselves so that we can love ourselves and therefore love each other. But everything in society is built to go against that, right? It's to keep us from thinking for ourselves and from loving ourselves. And one of the biggest issues with this is religion. I feel like that is where it started for a lot of us because, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't believe in God, right? Because I know some people watch this video and say that I am, putting down anyone who believes in God, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that a lot of the religions have used believing in God as a weapon by twisting what faith really means and by projecting a lie that God does not love us all equally, by creating a divide, good and bad, God and human. Like, there is no divide. Every being that exists is equal. But religions have created a divide. It's very clever because if you think about it, if there's a good and a bad, then your mind, it's just human nature. We will always analyze every action that we do, every action that the other person does to determine, am I good? I want to be good. I want to be accepted because one of our primal instincts is to be accepted, is to, is to belong. And so any teaching that makes us question whether or not we will or can be or should be or worthier to, then it is going to constantly keep us judging ourselves and other people, which is the literally like the only thing that is it is opposite of self-love, right? It's like judgment is probably the worst sin that anyone can do. It's what causes all of the pain and suffering in the long run. You can trace it all back to judgment. And most religions have made it so that that's all we do, that we judge everyone, which we don't have the right to. So we judge ourselves. And it also teaches to self-sacrifice, which if you were God and you created everyone, or how about this? You're a parent and you have 5 children, and one of the children sacrifices themselves for the other ones. Do you think that's noble? Because that's insanity, right? Like, you love all 5 children equally. Self-sacrifice is no difference than sacrificing one of their brothers or sisters. Like, self-sacrifice is not noble. It's not righteous. It's just as bad as sacrificing your neighbor, because you should love yourself. If every person in the world loved themselves completely and we didn't seek validation outside of ourselves, there would be no suffering. There would be no pain. The reason there's pain is because we are taught to judge each other, that we're not good enough, that we fear being punished because we may not be good. And then it teaches us that instead of accepting our differences and appreciating everyone being different and having something different to offer, it teaches us to fear it. So we just continuously live in fear, not faith. And we show up at church and tell ourselves that we're good people because we're going to church, but we're not doing anything that our soul feels right with, because I know that deep down everyone feels when something is right and wrong. It's built into us. That's what our emotions are. And I believe that our purpose here is to learn ourselves, to question our emotions when they come up, feel them, ask why we're feeling them, and then ask if that's the truth, or is that a lie, a limited belief that we were taught and conditioned, or is that really the truth? Because if you ask yourself that and the answer is that you're not good enough, or you're a bad person, or anything other than that you love yourself and that you are worthy, it's a lie. It's a lie that has been purposely set for you to stay where you're at, to stay suffering, to stay in lack, because what I'm sure the people in power know is that if you love yourself, then you have the full power of manifestation. Because if you have complete faith in yourself and love in yourself, there is nothing that no one can do to you to hurt you, and there is nothing that you can't have and manifest into your reality. That's what I've learned in the last 2 years. And I wish more people understood that. I'm going to be putting together some videos that delve more into like the limited beliefs I went through, and just, I don't know, more information about it. If anyone's interested, I hope you guys check it out. But if not, thanks for sticking with the video, and I hope I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.